You know, I don't know about you, but every time I hear a Christmas carol, my mind drifts back to the Christmas Eve in a little country church in a little town I was raised in called Red Oak. Now, Red Oak was a real typical small town. It was nestled in the timber of the foothills of the Missouri Ozarks. Had the country church and a little one-room schoolhouse and the old general store where I was raised in. It seemed like everyone in town was a relative of mine. Well, in this country school, you know, all the kids got excited and preparing for Christmas holidays and decorating the windows. You know, I wasn't much on reading and writing, but boy, when it come to cutting out and coloring them Santa Clauses, that's where I really shined. My Uncle Claire, he would take great pride in finding just the right tree for the church. And he'd load up us boys and head for this nearby farm where he had located this tree earlier in the year. And it was usually a cedar tree, about 14 foot tall, and we cut it down and loaded on the back of his old flatbed truck and headed back towards town. And all the town folks, they came out to greet us and give their stamp of approval. And after all the preparations, Christmas Eve finally got there. The church was bursting at its seams with pride, and lights streaming across the new fallen snow. The tree was all decorated with lights and ornaments that my dad said he could remember even when he was a kid.
We're all neighbors.
And all the town folks and the people from the surrounding community was there. And I couldn't take my eyes off the servicemen with their uniforms on, and they were home on leave. And these were during the war years, and pride was running strong. And they always started the service off by singing Christmas carols.
For first number, would you turn to page 82, and we'll sing A Little Town of Bethlehem, page 82.
My Aunt Lily, who was our Sunday school teacher, also played the piano. And I can remember grinning with glee when she had hit that wrong key. But I guess that didn't matter much because it seemed like everybody was singing in the wrong key. I always wondered why the person that sang the worst always sang the loudest. And after we had sang, the preacher would always come out to say a few words. Now, to a youngster, the preacher always seemed like he was long-winded. But on this night, a few words seemed like it lasted for hours.
Tonight we're going to talk about love and brotherhood.
As soon as he would finish, us kids were hustled to the backstage to put on our costumes to get ready for our program. Now, Mary was always played by the prettiest girl in the area. And I always wanted to play the part of Joseph, but seemed to end up always pulling shepherd's duty. And I don't know why our parents were so proud of us sitting back in the audience there, because we were always forgetting our lines or picking our noses. Or I remember this time my cousin Stanley, he got up there and did his skit, and after it was all over with, he found out his fly was unzipped. And I think the only reason any of us got up there in the first place was where the main event was to follow. And that was when we heard the sleigh bells and this ho, 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 and Santa Claus comes busting through the front door and had this big old brown bag over his shoulder. And in this bag, he had these little brown sacks of candy. And in these sacks, there was this orange and this orange peel and this ribbon candy and these chocolate-covered peanuts. And he passed these all out to these kids. And when he come to me and hand me mine, I'd look at his hand and I noticed he had stolen my Uncle Claire's lodge ring. And I thought, wow, what a perfect night to be stealing something because everybody's in church. And the more I sat there and thought about it, it finally dawned on me that Uncle Claire and Santa Claus must have been lodge brothers. Well, ironically, that little church burned down on Christmas Eve back in the 50s. And although they built a new modern one on the same site, it just seems to have lost something. Now, you just can't bring back those times except through a memory, or do like I do and bring them back through a painting. So here's hoping this ping brings back one of your favorite memories of Christmas Eve. And this is my way of saying thanks for being my friend. And here's hoping you have a Merry Christmas.